Hello, we're going to be covering Chapter 17 this evening, and that is the content for Week 13. So just jumping right in, Chapter 17, is all about implementing the launch of a new product. Well, not all about it, but kind of an introduction to that. So we are now in the launch phase, and a couple of important pieces to the launch cycle that are discussed in Chapter 17 include the pre-launch and pre-announcement, and then the beachhead phase, which is kicked off with the announcement of the product. And the beachhead phase ends when the product is moving into the early growth stage. If you recall the product life cycle, we're moving into that stage at that point. So a lot of things are happening in the pre-launch and the pre-announcement phase. Here is where you're really getting ready for everything. You're training people, you're creating inventory of your product, putting together your advertisements and your marketing communications elements, just building up your capacity to put this product on the market. And then in the beachhead phase, here you are really throwing everything at the launch of the product. And so you're putting a lot of money in there, a lot of time and effort to spread awareness of your new product, and really kind of cross the threshold of inertia, they call it in the book, where you've successfully made people aware of your product and created enough interest that people are buying it. And so at that point, when you can see that you have crossed that threshold, then at that point, then you would say you're into the early growth phase. And so there's kind of a cool graph in the book that shows a picture of that and how much money is going into the beachhead phase to get over the hump, if you will, of getting that. Okay, see if I can stay here. My mouse is giving me fits tonight. So you're launching this product. I'm sorry. You're putting up with me. Let's see if I can get this to go backwards. Okay, here we go. So you're launching this product, but still you don't want to throw any more money at it than you have to. And so you're trying to hold back as much as you can, keep as much flexibility into the process at this point, so that if you need to throw the brakes on, you haven't lost any more money than absolutely necessary. So that's the concept behind the lean launch and the launch timing, is that you're holding everything back just in case something pops up, and you're spending as little as possible just in case something has to be changed until the last minute. Okay. So when you talk about launch tactics here, you're talking about a communications plan, a copy strategy statement, and there's a lot of personnel selling. And so a communications plan is really everything that the consumer is going to see related to your product. Any piece of communication. Okay, so there's a real plan to that. How are you going to, what are you going to show people, and when are you going to show it to them, and how are you going to deliver that message? All of that goes into the communications plan. The copy strategy statement is an encapsulation of all of the important pieces of your launch. Okay, so who's your target market? How are you going to position this product to that market? What's your communication mix, and what are the major communication points or copy points that you're going to be communicating to people? And then finally, every new product launch has a good bit of personal selling with it. So if you're selling into retail, you have your salespeople that interface with retail stores, and so you're trying to get good shelf position. You're trying to educate the distributors and the resellers about your product so that they can help you sell it to consumers. If it's a more industrial product, you're training your salespeople to talk about that new product with their customers, that kind of thing. So personal selling and training of salespeople is very important at this point in the game. All right, so also very important at this phase is to put your arms around all of your potential alliances that can help you with this launch. And so that may be in an advertising field, it may be in government field, it may be with advocacy groups, or anybody that can give you good publicity. as well as business partners or strategic alliances can be important there too. So keep your mind open to that. And then finally here we're going to talk about the ATAR requirements. And really this is what it's all about when it comes to launching a new product. You've got to make people aware, and you would like to be able to measure that awareness. So there's some discussion of that in the chapter. You got to get people to try your product. And so there's also discussion in here about things that make that hard and how you get around those. You got to make your product available, make it where people are shopping, that they can find it and have a chance to try it. And then you want to be able to get people to do a repeat purchase, buy it again. So those are really 4 very key points to putting a new product on the market. Okay, so I believe that's it for this chapter. The case for this week is a Hulu case. And so I'm asking you with this assignment to go back to the strategic platforms decisions and think about which of those are applying here in this case. Okay, and then I want you to think about what you'd put in the copy strategy statement. That's my dryer, sorry. What you'd put in the copy strategy statement for the Hulu product. And then think about the ATAR model, awareness, trial, availability, and repeat purchase, and how that applied to the Hulu case. Okay. Finally, answer this one question: do you think they should adopt a fee-for-service model? I'll look forward to your opinions on that. Okay, that's it for this week 13. I hope you all have a good week.